Hello everyone, this is Kevin from Craven Financial Solutions. Today's video comes from a client who's actually needing help figuring out how to set up automatic payments from clients. Um, Before we get into today's video, I want to go over a few housekeeping things. So as a new uh, YouTuber, we are learning as we go, and what we've found is that just subscribing is not giving us enough information in order to get you your special gift. So, if you would like to get that special gift, we would need you to subscribe, comment, and like, and that way we're able to get your information, get in touch with you, and be able to send you that special gift. So for those of you who have already subscribed but we haven't gotten in contact with you, please go ahead and comment and like, and that way we can get in touch with you in order to get you your special gift. If we've contacted you and you haven't received your special gift within a week, go ahead and email us, let us know, that way we can get in touch with you and get that out to you. Okay, with that aside, let's go ahead and get into today's video. Today's video is on automatic payments from clients. So this is when you want to make sure that you receive money from a client, so you set up an automatic payment from their card, so that way you don't have to invoice them and chase down the money. So very first thing we want to do is get inside of our QuickBooks Online account. Most everything we do is going to be through QuickBooks Online. It's not going to be through the app. The app is very limited. So today's video is 100% from the desktop version. We will almost never do an app video. The app is okay if you're out and about and want to do something quick and easy, but it is not for the everyday use. The other thing before we get started with today's video is with doing automatic payments, you need to be sure that you have a QuickBooks merchant account set up. If you're unaware of how to do so, go ahead and email us, contact us, and we can try to help you set that up for you. Otherwise, this is geared for if you have a QuickBooks merchant account set up, this will work for you to automatically charge clients each month and you don't have to chase down your money. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go into the gear icon, which if you look up here in the corner, this right here, this little gear looking thing is your gear icon. We'll click on that. It's going to pop up a series of lists. My lists are going to look different from yours. I have an accountant-based version of QuickBooks, gives us far more tools, and it just changes the appearance. So most everything we do here is going to look slightly different than what you have on yours, but the base forms and everything should be the same. For you, I believe the first column is going to end up being settings and so forth, which for me it is as well. And then your second column, I believe, should be customers. So this is going to be invoices, anything about receiving money. Your third column would be vendors, which is people that you purchase from. So it's going to be anything about outgoing money. And then I believe you'll have your tools and other transactions. So no matter what version you have, what we need to do is we need to find reoccurring transactions. Once we find that, we'll go ahead and click on that. And then we are going to be creating a new reoccurring transaction. So we'll click on the new. Right here, the selection type, this is vital. This is a key piece. So my company, we like to invoice our clients. So we send out an invoice through email and then they pay online. Well, you cannot, with QuickBooks Online, you cannot do a reoccurring receiving payment. So therefore, the invoice piece won't work because we can't pay that invoice, that open invoice, on a reoccurring basis. So the only thing we can do in order to create a reoccurring charge to a client, receive a reoccurring payment from a client, would be to create a sales receipt. So this is a charge at the time of service is what a sales receipt would be used for. So because of the fact we're wanting to charge the client automatically and not have to chase them down and get the money, we have to set it up as a sales receipt. So once we select sales receipt, we'll hit OK, and it'll bring us into the template. So with the template, it's pretty easy, straightforward, fill it out, but we'll go ahead and go through this process with you. So the template name, I like to keep this pretty simple, and I like to name it by the name of the client. That way we know exactly what this template's for. And with today's purpose, we will call it Craven Estate. And then the type, whether it's going to be a scheduled payment, a reminder, or an unscheduled payment. Reminders only work within QuickBooks, and honestly, I find reminders not to be helpful whatsoever because they don't really do a good job of saying, hey, you have something that needs to be done. So I don't really use the reminders. However, scheduled is what we're going to be going for here because this will automatically create whatever it is you're setting up. And in this case, we're setting up receiving payment from a client automatically. Create so many days in advance. We don't want this created any days in advance for this case. We want it created on the day of. As far as this is concerned, when I do invoices automatically, sometimes I'll set this up as create 5 days in advance. So that way I know that it's coming. It'll show up inside QuickBooks, and I know that in a few days an invoice will be sent. Do the same thing as far as bills. It's great to have those bills in there 10 days ahead of time, so that way you're consciously aware, oh, hey, I have this bill coming up. I need to make sure that the money is in the account. So that's more where I use those create days in advance. When we're doing something like charging a client, we don't want it charged ahead of time. We want it charged the day of. So we'll create a 0 days in advance charge. Next, we got to come down and we got to find our client. In this case, we're doing Craven Estates. If it was a new client, we would come up here and hit add and then fill in their information. But considering the fact that we're charging this client over and over on a regular basis, they're most likely already a client of ours and inside our system. We're going to click Craven Estate as our client, and their information, since they're already in our system, will already automatically pop up. Emails pop up. What we're going to do is create an automatic email sent. This allows us, once this charge hits, it sends them an email with that charge, a receipt of that charge. That way, we don't have to worry about them not having any information on the charge itself. Now we'll come down to how often do we want this charged. Oh, well, we want this charged on a monthly basis, and we want it the first day of, actually, let's make it the 15th day of every month. So monthly, you have options of daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly on what day, or the first, second, third, fourth, or last day of the month. But in this case, we're going to say on the 15th day, and then you can set it up for once a month. You could set it up for every other month. You could set it up for twice a year, so every 6 months. You could set it up for each quarter, so every 3 months. In our case, we're going to do this on once a month basis. And then the start date, since we're already past the 15th, we will go to the 15th of July, and we don't want any end date. We want this to continue on until we say so. And so if you wanted to end this, you could have a end by this date or end after this date. If you hit end by this date, whatever date you put in, let's say you put in December 15th. So December 15th. So the 5th, well, let's not use the 15th. Let's use the 16th. This will be a little more clear for our example. So what this will do is any transactions that occur before this date, so December 15th would occur before this date, it will charge it. The after is how many occurrences after that date. So like in this particular case, if we have 7/15, we want only 6 charges. It will stop after December 15th. December 15th would be that 6th and final charge, and then it would no longer run this particular charge. But in this case, we're going with none. It's not going to stop until we come in and stop it. Now, below this line is all going to be information that's unique to you, because this is how your sales receipts are set up. So I can show you as far as ours are concerned, we have the customer name and address. We have a line for tax preparer because we place in who prepared the tax return, since most of what we do is taxes. In this case, it isn't a tax return, so this does not get filled in. We have our locations, so where this is being prepared. And then we have our payment methods. The payment methods, this is the important piece right down here. This is the heart and soul of this video. So our payment methods, we have created payment methods for everything that has come along. I believe your basic inside of QuickBooks start is going to be just cash, check, debit card, and credit card. We like to know more specifically what type of card. We also have other options as well. For tax returns, we have deduction of fees. So we also receive PayPal. So we put in many different types of transaction just to specify what exactly it is. Now, there's really, honestly, 2 different types of charges you're going to run across here. It's either going to be a check or it will be a card. For check, let's start there. For check, if we click on check, we are going to get a pop-up for the bank info, and also this little box we need to check that says I have authorization and would like to process this transaction. Now QuickBooks is cool, and they provide you this little link that has an authorization form. Now, do you have to have this authorization form? No. Do I recommend it? Yes. What this form is for is if your client ever was to challenge and dispute the charge with his bank and say it's not an authorized charge, your bank or their bank would then contact you to be able to verify that it is authorized. So if you have this little piece of paper filled out by your client, then it's going to be impossible for them to say you didn't have authorization. So you would just print this off. It says I authorize, and then you'd put in your company's name here to electronically debit my account. Then you work your way down here. This is the terms of billing. So is it a one-time, or is it a starting on this date, on this day of the month, each month through, and then the amount? Or is it starting on this day for the amount of, and according thereafter per the terms of invoices? So you have options here to fill out, and you'd select the one that you'd want. And then this is where you put in their bank information. So their routing number, their account number. Is it a checking, savings, or is it a business account? Then you're going to need them to fill out their name here, and then your name here. And this is the terms of cancellation. And then you'll have them sign, print their name and date. And then from here on forward, you have the proof that you have authorization to charge their card. So they can't dispute it. Well, they can choose to dispute it, but you have proof, if they do choose to dispute that you do have a valid charge. And this will help prevent any issues in the future with chargebacks. Then once you have that filled out, you can go ahead and check the box and enter in the bank info. So you would enter in their account number, their routing number, phone number, and their name. And then also, if you've had anybody ever take your card information over the phone, QuickBooks does have this little spot right here where it's Authorized Script. This right here is designed for that situation of receiving authorization over the phone. This just gives you a little script. On today's date, and then you would state the customer's name, agree to let us, and then you would state your company's name, make a one-time electronic debit from the bank account for, and then the amount of your charge on or after today. If you have any questions about this debt, you can reach us at, and then your phone number. And then you would make that online charge. But that's not specifically what this video is about today. That's just a little extra piece that we're throwing in there to show you. QuickBooks does provide as much information as far as legals as they can to be able to get you to be able to receive your money without having a whole lot of problems. So then the other option we would have is going to be a credit card, debit card, something along those lines. We specify what type of card, so we're going to say it's a Visa, and we're going to process this card, and we will click on the enter of details. Now, if you have a card reader and the client is there with you while you're setting this up, you can go ahead and swipe the card, or click the swipe card button and then swipe the card, and it will fill all this information in for you. If you do not, you can just simply type all this in by hand. The street address is not vital. You do want to make sure that the name on the card does match, and it's best to at least get the zip code. But if you don't have this street address, it'll still go through just as easily. And then you definitely want to make sure that you click on the box that says use this card for future use. That's going to save the card information inside of QuickBooks. That way it will charge each month and you don't have to continuously get their card information. If you do not check this box, it does not save the information. You will have a hell of a time trying to get the client's information. If we click on this download authorization form, you'll find that the card authorization form does appear to be slightly different than the bank. However, it is collecting the same information. You're going to want your customer's information. We're going to fill in your business name, and then the amount that we're authorizing, the email for your customer, and what the services you're providing. Then you're also going to figure out what type of card we're selecting here, the name as it appears on the card number, expiration date, and zip code. Once again, like I said, the zip code, you want to make sure that gets filled in. The street address, not as important. You could also, if you wanted, put the little CVC code, the 3-digit code on the back of the card here, just for extra information, in case you ever did run into a chargeback situation. The piece below is the reoccurring transaction information. So this is the how often is this going to be charged, your monthly, weekly, quarterly, and then are you emailing receipts or mailing them? If you check email, you already have the email address above. If you check mail, then you're going to want your client's address so that you can mail the invoices, the receipts out. Your payment amount, the product that you're providing, the contact information in order to cancel, and then any terms and agreements that you want to place on that line, your customer service, or your customer's signature, and the date of the signature. With this information, now you would want to make sure to fill out all of the card information here and hit save. And now you have protection if they were to try to challenge any charge that you placed. The final piece, most important piece, is now you need to fill out what it is you're charging them for. So for us, we're going to place in consultation, and we'll just call it the monthly fee. And now here we have the quantity, rate, and that gives us our amount. We're going to say it's 10 hours at $100 an hour for $1,000 a month that we are charging this client. Down below, we're going to have any messages that you want displayed on the sales receipt going to the client. and then any on the statement, and then you can also make any attachments you need. Good idea here is going to be attach that authorization form. That way you have it wherever it pops up, wherever that receipt pops up. So if ever there's a challenge, you have it readily at your access. Once we have it all filled out, everything's exactly how we want it looking. Oops. Everything's exactly how we want it looking. We're all good. We'll go ahead and hit Save Template. Once that template's saved, we're not going to save this one in this case. Once that template's saved, it will land in your list of templates. If it's the only one, obviously it will be the only one there. And from here, you can actually pause. It'll tell you when the previous date it was charged. You can actually pause things that you don't want going on, and then you can reinstate it. So this will help you as if a client were to come in and they said, oh, I need to leave for 3 months, but I'll be back. So you can actually pause it. Or if you want and they end it, you can end it and have it still in your list, and that way if they do come back, you just restart that up. So that is the process for automatic payments from a client. Once again, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will get you a special gift. If you already have subscribed, make sure to comment so that we can get you that special gift. There are links below for you to check out further information as far as our website, our school, and some affiliates that we are associated with as far as getting some deals on some useful tools. Until next time, have a great day.